We do have some ways to preview this that, as you alluded to, are a little different than normal. We've done 17 weeks of this show, and we come on here and give you the models data, and it's very straightforward why you should trust it, blah, blah, blah. We're not saying you shouldn't trust what the model says this week, but we are saying to read the situations here. There's going to be a lot of benchings, a lot of guys that are being rested, a lot of teams that just flat out don't care about the result this week, and it will take our model a couple days to adjust based on how those availabilities get listed by the odds makers. So I guess just from a general standpoint, Dave, can you give us maybe an early motivation tracker for week 18?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it has to be at the forefront of everybody's mind. Every wager you're placing this week has to be like, what is this team playing for? I mean, right now you can't even get lines for almost all the games. The only ones with all your usual prop lines up are the 3 games that mean everything for the teams that are involved. Otherwise, these lines, the sportsbook game lines may look different. The prop lines aren't up. You don't know who's playing. Things are going to change a lot for a lot of these games. So I really wouldn't be locking in a ton of bets until later, closer to the weekend. We're going to try and focus primarily on the stuff that means the most. And that starts off with both number 1 seeds are up for grabs in week 18. The NFL absolutely loves this. In the NFC, you got the Seahawks Niners playing for both the division and the number 1 seed. Huge game. Everyone's playing. It's going all the way down to the wire here, I think. You don't have to worry about any of the motivation stuff in this game. It's not impacted by any other results, and it's on a Saturday. So there will be no scoreboard watching for either team in this. Treat this as a normal game. We'll cover it later in the show. In the AFC, you have both the Broncos and Patriots vying for the top seed. I'd expect, again, both teams to start their guys against their respective opponents. That's the Broncos versus the Chargers and the Patriots versus the Dolphins. Playing at the same time, neither will know the fate of the other until the games are basically over. However, and this kind of surprised me given the Harbaugh-ness of the Chargers, but they have already stated they will be sitting their starters in this game. No gentleman's agreement here to play it tough all the way to the end. The Broncos are going to get the B squad, probably lock up the top seed, much to the ire of Patriots Nation. 90% probability for the for the Broncos to beat the Chargers this week. That's their money line probability from the Dimers model. For the Patriots, try and figure out what that means. I don't know. I mean, it means they're probably going to see them start heavy, pretty starter heavy in the first half. Any given Sunday, we just saw the Falcons beat the Rams. We've seen teams loot. We saw the Browns beat the Packers earlier this year. We've seen all kinds of wacky stuff happen in the NFL. Excuse me, all the time. So, if we're getting at halftime and this is a close game, I think you're going to see the Patriots play it like a totally normal game. If this looks like the Broncos are running away with this, when the Patriots are heading into the locker room for the half, it would not stun me to see the starters take a back seat in the second half. The 2 seed, they'll get the 2 seed and the division, and they'll be healthy going into the first round of the playoffs. That 2 seed gets you a home game in the second round. Still pretty good place to be. So you're going to have to wait and see what the lines and stuff look like. I think you could confidently take some Broncos over in this game if they exist come game time, but that's probably the only prop angle you should really be looking at. I think in either of these, you could get kind of messy come halftime.
I would throw this out from a Pats standpoint, and I have no idea what props are even available at this point, probably none. If I was going to look for anything with the Pats, I would stay away from any non-Drake May player. I think we could see everybody out of this lineup at some point if the other game is wrapped up. I will float this. I don't know if it's going to come true or not. Wouldn't surprise me if Drake May gets the whole game regardless. I mean, knowing there is an MVP on the line for a younger guy, the Pats they can put up points, as last week showed you, right? Like they can kind of pick and choose who they want to score. Maybe Drake May a couple touchdowns this week, maybe kind of solidify his MVP candidacy in a game with a bunch of guys in and out. That would have my attention as well. You've also got a group of teams here with something to play for. Maybe not a number 1 seed, but there's quite a few teams here still with pretty serious playoff implications.
Yeah, I mean the Jaguars do have an outside shot at the top seed. It requires the Broncos and Patriots to both lose. Don't think that's going to happen, so I think we could probably put a pin in that. But they will be looking to lock up the division. Very important game for them. The Texans, likewise, everything to play for in regards to the division. Maybe they take it lighter in the second half if the excuse me, still getting over that sickness. If the Jaguars are up big against the Titans, who have been pretty feisty in the last, I'd say, 6 weeks of the NFL season here. But the Texans will definitely come out hard, playing with everything to play for. They're going to get Riley Leonard for the Colts, not even Phillip Rivers, so they're probably going to get up big early. Personally, give me another big Jaden Higgins game if you can get the lines. You saw what the Texans and Stroud just did to a very good Chargers passing defense the other day. Now they're going to get the Colts, who have been in free fall and were just eviscerated by Brock Purdy and the 49ers just the other week. So that would probably be what I'm looking at in those games. In the NFC, you have the Bears and Eagles playing for either the 2 or 3 seed, which is a big difference as the 2 seed gets a home game in the divisional round. Bears win over Detroit, locks it up for Chicago. Definitely expect the Lions to be trying to play spoiler in this, regardless of how, or aside from how their season went. Ben Johnson here, you could get maybe one last stick it to him in week 18 before you pack your bags and head home. So I'd expect that to be competitive. Models got Bears at 58% win probability, but I think it's only a 2.5 point spread, so it should be a competitive game. Eagles need a win and a Bears loss. Should be playing pretty hard, at least in the first half. But again, that could change very much come time that they're heading out of the locker room for the end of the game. And then we got a few teams who are pretty much locked in or mostly locked in. Packers are locked into the 7 seed. Josh Jacobs has been nursing a knee injury. Jordan Love is just out. Christian Watson's been playing through an injury. Jacobs is 71 yards shy of 1,000. I don't think he plays a snap in this game. They got to get into those playoffs healthy because they are suddenly all the way at the other end of the spectrum from what looked like a Super Bowl favorite early in the season. Rams could end up the 5 or 6. Difference there is basically getting to play the NFC South champ as the 5 seed or the Eagles-Bears 3 seed winner of that. So it's not meaningless, kind of a choose your opponent thing. They've been here before, though. They're probably not really as concerned about that, just so much as getting in healthy and righting the ship a bit, as they've been in a little bit of a slump. So I don't think they're going to do much. They need a win and a Seahawks win on Saturday, so we'll know their motivation by Sunday, which is good, at least as far as betting. And then the Bills can only move up with a win and a Texans or Jags loss. So probably not going to see more than a couple drives with Josh Allen and co here. They definitely want to be the 5 over the 7. I think they want to avoid the Patriots, who will likely be the 2. And then they'll get the AFC North winner, who would be the 4 seed if they end up as the 5. So they would like to move up, but it's not really up to them. And I don't think you're going to see a lot of Bills action in this game either.
Yeah, it feels fair to me. The teams that have like multiple dominoes that need to fall that are out of their control are the teams that I think, as long as a playoff spot is already locked up on, sometimes you see those teams just rest anyway. You can't bank on multiple teams to throw a game accident. Like it's just if you need one thing, that's one thing. If you need 2 to 3 things, it's hard to really fully lock in mentally, even if you say you're going to start your starters. So as always, look, we encourage people to bet responsibly. You always should. And there's disclaimers for it everywhere, but you need to listen to them. And to me, bet responsibly also means like bet situationally responsibly. And week 18 is one of those big time situations. I mean, we come on here with player prop value all the time, every single week. And this is it's kind of blind. If you're going to play player props this year, you have to know the volatility that comes with it. Maybe there's a chance if prop markets do come out closer later in the week that you could jump on like third stringers that, you have a chance to check into the game late and get some crazy value outside of playing those long shots. This is really not a week to play the favorites the way you normally do. So that's my 2 cents. I feel like Dave has laid the groundwork for this very nicely for us. Reminder though, if you do want our models insights for this, Dimers Pro is where you get them. for every single game in the NFL and every game in every sport. Promo code podcast gets you 50% off Dimers Pro, and tune back in closer to the games. Once we do start to see prop markets become listed, our model will adjust and give you our projections for each player that will be informed as best we can on exactly what the usage for each player this week should be.